You greet me on the phone, and this time you're for real. Well, I'm never coming home, 'cause you're never gonna feel.
Hi guys, my name is Alyssa and welcome back to my channel. This is going to be your November 2019 prediction with a lot of Mercury retrograde information. Now, I did record this video earlier. I obviously want to give you a prediction before the month starts, but as I was going through it, I was realizing that certain messages were universal and I was repeating them over and over again, and by the time I got to like Virgo, I was super tired of saying the exact same thing. Hi guys, my name is Alyssa Trahan and welcome back to my channel. So we're going to do this video a little bit different, and I will always try to give you the quickest, most effective way to deliver this information to you every month in my predictions. And so sometimes it will be in a slightly different format than it was before, which is cool. You don't have to change it up, otherwise we get boring, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to handle Mercury retrograde, and then I'm going to tell you about the transits that are going to affect every single sign, and then I'm going to go into a little bit of a shorter thing for each sign, okay? Right? So that basically, if you want to skip ahead to the overview, the Mercury retrograde information, or your sign, there will be timestamps in the pinned comment as well as the information section below, because I want to make sure that you get everything that you need. So first off, let's talk about Mercury retrograde. Mercury went retrograde October 31st or November 1st, depending on really where you are. And it went there at 27 degrees. Now, it's been in its shadow since October 11th at actually 11 degrees. If you like 11, that's a fun fact, right? When Mercury goes retrograde, it appears in the sky to be moving backwards. But we also have a stationary retrograde phase, a pre-shadow, a post-shadow, a stationary direct phase. Like, there's a lot of different things that happen here. So just like a little bit of an overview. Between the 1st of November and October 11th to the 1st of November, if you're linear like that, we did face certain obstacles that pertained to this Mercury retrograde. So sometimes people feel that Mercury is already retrograde before it happens because they are in tune or in a line with the Mercury transit. So it's been in Scorpio. It was at 11 degrees, and then it went all the way up to 27 degrees. What's going to happen is it's going to go backwards, back to that 11-degree mark, and then it's going to go direct back to that 27-degree mark. So December 7th is when everything gets back to normal. What is Mercury? If it's on your mind, it's communication. When you get it on a grand collective consciousness scale, this means that it does affect communication over the internet, over the phone, even thoughts-wise. It affects a lot of things. But there is a lot of fear-based astrology that will tell you, like, when Mercury's retrograde, everything's going to suck, so don't do something. Here is where this gets a little bit crazy, because you aren't supposed to, say, create or put out new content or something during this retrograde phase. You would assume that it would, as above, so below, it would be on this grand scale too. That means that nobody should be having a baby during Mercury retrograde ever, okay? But we know that's not true because everybody has Mercury retrograde in their chart. Not everybody. There's a lot of people who are born on Mercury retrograde, and you guys are perfectly fine individuals. You just have to learn how to go about the retrograde a little bit differently. So it's okay if you have a great idea to put it out there during Mercury retrograde, because you are feeling it. And the reason why is when Mercury goes retrograde, it goes internally. And that means that if you are a creative person, this is the best time to create, okay? Probably not the greatest time to get all of your thoughts in a row during the pre-shadow, and maybe you might have to do a little bit of like cleanup work during the post-shadow, but during the retrograde phase, it's kind of like, just for some people, just the perfect time to deliver their message. It might be delayed in how people receive it. It might be confused. It might, something might happen to it because you can't control your uncontrollables, but you can control you. So if you're like in the mood to do it, just do it, okay? Because it's Mercury, it's in Scorpio, some other things are going to be exposed. So during Mercury retrograde, this season, you will see a lot of exposure of bad people, classified information, things that you just don't expect, things that are going to sort of blow your mind. And so this is going to last from now, the 1st to the 18th. Another way you can look at Mercury going retrograde, you can think of Mercury turning into another planet. It helps me, so it might help you. But Mercury sort of acts like Venus when it goes retrograde, which this makes sense. Venus is love, right? And so if you are living by love, like sort of living in the moment, going with the flow, just cherishing your family and not trying to push things to happen, you can handle Mercury retrograde. But if you're still living up in your head, still trying to manifest things and make things happen, and you're just like, why is it not working? It's because this is not outward thinking, it's internal. And so all you're doing is messing with your head when you start doing that stuff during the Mercury retrograde. Another thing to do is flip the sign. So it's not just Venus and Scorpio this is acting like. It's actually acting like Venus and Taurus. And Venus and Taurus is a very stable, loving place. It's kind of a big hospitality place, okay? So it's going to be making a lot of people feel like they want to be with close friends, that they want to find love, they want to enjoy themselves, and that's perfectly acceptable. That's good energy to use. It also is going to give extra energy to Taurus people. Basically, don't fear the retrograde. It's not the Reaper, and you shouldn't fear that either, but it is in Scorpio, which is the Reaper. But what we're going to be seeing is just exposure of bad people. And so if you are a good person, you have nothing to worry about, right? And in your own life, take it easy. Chill out, do what you got to do. And I'll tell you more in every sign how to navigate the next month in a little bit. But first, let's get into the main transits that are going to be affecting everybody. November 1st, let's get this done. This is the first day. This is when this video will be coming out. At the same time that Mercury is going retrograde, Venus is leaving Scorpio and entering Sagittarius. Now, Venus is a blessing, and it puts a blessing on the sign that it's in. So since we are still in Scorpio season, but Venus has already gone to Sagittarius, this sort of takes away a little bit of this blessing of Scorpio season. If things were going all right for you this Scorpio season, they might feel like they are starting to go a little bit downhill, especially since Mercury is going retrograde. So if you could take my advice about treating Mercury like it's Venus and Taurus instead, and just really trying to enjoy yourself and have pleasurable experiences whenever you can, and go slow, one thing at a time. You don't have to do everything quick, and you don't have to be impatient. We are in control of our patience. It's a value that we can totally take back. We don't have to put it on other people to make us feel better about how patient we are. Well, once we experience patience, that annoyance with everything goes away, and we are totally in control of that. So that's something just to remind yourself. You're like, I can be patient. I can be patient, like breathing. But breath helps you be patient. So I would say that's a big thing that should affect you. And if you see a lot of people around you who are very impatient, let them run, okay? Because you don't want them running into you during this energy. It's not good energy for you to be around, okay? So you see a lot of people with a lot of anxiety who are pushing really hard in directions they shouldn't be pushing in, who are very angry at other people for not performing the way that they want them to perform. These are people that during this time you don't want to be near, because they will hurt you, because that energy has to be directed somewhere. And if you're near them trying to be patient, it's going to be hitting you hard. So cut yourself out of any of those situations whenever you can. Okay. The next thing that I will say is going to be affecting everybody is this Mars and Libra square Pluto in Capricorn on November 5th. And this is kind of a big deal because obviously if you are an Aries, Libra, Cancer, or Capricorn, this will affect you more if you have those placements. But It affects everybody because it puts some severe tense aspects. So November 5th, that anxiety I was talking to you about, like, it's going to reach like a pinnacle, maybe a head, but it doesn't mean that it just dissipates after November 5th is over. These things can last a lifetime. You know, it only takes one moment to pull the trigger, metaphorically or realistically, and your entire life is changed forever. So November 5th, that's like, that anxiety is going to build up and it's going to overflow, and you're going to say something that you don't want to say, or you are going to hear something you don't want to be around. So just keeping that understanding of patience and, you know, personal pleasure. It's just a good things to experience this month. So then after that, we're going to go straight to the full moon in Taurus. This is a full moon. The sun will be in Scorpio. The moon is in Taurus. That's what makes a full moon, because they're in their opposite signs. So what we're going to get here is a lot of that Mercury retrograde clarity. Okay, so if things are kind of dark, sort of heavy, sort of problematic in the beginning of the month, by the 12th, the full moon does bring clarity. It's the big light in the sky, so what was dark and what was night is sort of illuminated. You might be able to see certain things. This Scorpio season has been a lot about hidden enemies and bringing them out into the light so they're no longer hidden. So if you still have maybe feeling that somebody is against you, some forces against you, I think you're going to get a lot of clarity about who that is or what it is. And so that's something to meditate on during this full moon for everybody, clarity for everybody, not just Scorpios and Tauruses. Mercury goes direct November 18th. So November 18th is, what's a 9 day? It's a beautiful day. I don't know where I was going to go with that. I was like, wait, it's going to be a beautiful day. It's going to go direct. It's going to be in post shadow for, you know, another couple weeks. But this is going to feel really nice, I think, for a lot of people, because that's just what I've channeled. Sometimes Mercury goes direct and it's not that great, but this one feels a lot better. It's because the sun is still in Scorpio. Mercury's been in Scorpio, so we're going back through it. It creates a lot of tension, a lot of those things, and I think a lot of tensions will be released, but in nice ways and kind ways. And again, more clarity, mental clarity. You know, sometimes, like, so the full moon's going to be happening, you're like, okay, that's clarity, but sometimes it could be clarity of your heart, clarity of your emotions, just feeling freer, the weight of the world lifted off of you, or maybe even sometimes, you know, the full moon makes you cry, and it makes you cry because you're releasing that anxiety, that tension. So if you gotta cry, cry, and then you feel like, oh, it's gone, and you have that clarity of spirit and body, but your mind will have its final clarity during the post shadow of Mercury retrograding in Scorpio. So the 18th is important in that regard. The sun enters Sagittarius, and when the sun enters Sagittarius on the 22nd, this is going to be like a weird situation, okay? It feels very weird, very strange. Mars is going to enter Scorpio right before. So also, you know, Mars is going to be in Scorpio same time, like the day after Mercury goes direct, but Mars is out of Libra, which we want. No one wants Mars in Libra, so that's a good day. Then a couple days later, the sun enters Sagittarius, which should always feel like a more fun time, a more festive time. If you think about it, it really brings in the holidays and everything. Sagittarius energy can be very mind-blowing, and it might be time, and it might kind of force you into a situation where you're realizing that all these transits up until this point have been sort of leading you to like open up your third eye, open up your mind, see things in a new light. And so when this Sagittarius season happens, you're going to see a lot of things in a new light, and that can hurt, but you've been prepared for it. The universe has been preparing everybody for this. Doesn't mean that it's easy. Doesn't mean that it's something that you really want to happen. But once you're through it, it gets better. And then your mind is just that much more open. You know, and for someone like me who's like really into a lot of weird shit, and it's kind of hard to blow my mind sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, you can tell me pretty much anything. Like people will like tell me secrets about, I swear I talked to an alien once or something like that. And I'm always like, Okay, cool. Yeah, do that I've done that too. Whatever. Like, I just don't care about a lot of things like about this because I've worked through so many of my closed-minded situations that are ingrained in me since I was born. But sometimes my mind still gets blown and it hurts like hell. And I get it, like why people hold on to what they know so bad, because it really, really hurts your head, gives you a migraine. And so maybe what I'm trying to say here is careful migraines. But if you get one, think about it. Why is it happening? It's a physical reaction to a spiritual idea, and you might be being informed of something by the universe, by your body, by other people, and it might be time for you to let go of your old beliefs and to hold firmly to your new beliefs. And that's something that I would say during this Sagittarius season that's happening. We'll get the new moon in Sagittarius, but this is something very interesting. Venus is going to conjunct Jupiter in Sagittarius in the sign that we'll be in on November 24th. At the same time, Mars is going to be opposite Uranus and Taurus. And all of that energy, because also new moons are dark, they're the dark moon. It's why there is no clarity in the sky. It represents a new beginning. But the fact of what happens right before it tells me about a war. Now, this could be a real life war on your own turf. It could, like, between you and someone else. This could be a spiritual war. This could be a worldly war. I don't see that happening, and the reason why is because Venus is so involved and Jupiter is so involved. This feels like a blessing, right? It's like a really nice thing, and it is, but like I said, when your mind is blown for the good, we're entering a new age of clarity and being a new awakening, right? But most of the world's not ready for that. So what happens? What happens when this good energy comes into the world and you're not ready for it? It's going to look really bad. It's going to look evil. It's going to look negative. It's going to look like something you don't want around you. It doesn't matter if it's going to make you feel good. It's like forcing a kid to eat their vegetables. It's going to make them so much better, clearer in their head. They're going to have good energy. But like what they are used to for energy is sugar. So they want sugar, 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 sugar. It's slowly hurting them, rotting their teeth, everything, whatever. You try to give them vegetables. They still don't want it. The problem is with this too is it doesn't look like vegetables. It actually looks like a beautiful garden of something. Like it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But people aren't going to like it at all. It's going to seem really bad. And so this is going to blow a lot of people's mind. They're going to resist it. So it's going to cause normal, good people to fight against something that's good. And we always wonder, like, what leads a normal, good person to do something bad? No, everybody would like to say, I would never be put in that situation, but psychology says otherwise. So if you can allow your mind to just be open to things and to observe two sides before you react, you will be in a lot better of a place. You will be able to keep your calm, your collectiveness, keep your cool during whatever might come during this Sagittarius season. On a real level, spiritual level, worldly level, whatever it is, keep your cool. Another thing about this Venus-Jupiter conjunction, they say that this is what was overhead when Jesus was born. That big star over, the manger, the nativity scene, could have been the Jupiter-Venus conjunction. So it's not like it's so rare it never happens. But I'm just saying when it does happen, it normally signifies the growth of something new and beautiful that will help heal the world. So that's why it's such a good sign, no matter what's happening around it. I just feel like it's definitely going to be taken negatively, even in the sense of like when Jesus was born and all the babies had to be killed, right? So you think about that, like people are going to resist. And then what we're going to have on the 26th and the 27th, Venus is going to enter Capricorn and Neptune will be direct. Again, also beautiful things will be happening here. Venus is going to join with Saturn and Pluto, and everybody's really afraid of Saturn and Pluto conjunction, but when Venus goes over it, love going over these planets that are scaring people, okay? Because for a long time, people have predicted that there'd be a world war around 2020 because when there's this huge conjunction in February with like a million planets, and this conjunction is like December, January, it's a big deal. Venus going over it is good. So that should be a sign about something. If Venus was at this point opposite, I would say, yeah, that's bad. But you have to be able to see the good in things. And so sometimes what you could see about this is a blessing, and it means that it probably won't end up being a world war, whatever's coming in the future. So I just want to give you a little bit of hope and faith about anything that you might be scared about, anything that an astrologer might be telling you is bad, but you need to look at the whole picture. You can't just be focusing on an event. You have to understand the events leading up to a certain event. Keep learning and keep growing your mind. Take it easy on yourself. Also, when Neptune goes direct, it went retrograde June 21st, after or even kind of during this eclipse season, and it was kind of a hard moment because a lot of things felt like they were going forward, but when Neptune goes retrograde, it sort of acts like Saturn. It acts very karmic. It acts like, you got those rose-colored glasses off all of a sudden, and so you're having to deal with like this hard truths, these facts that you don't want to deal with, these issues. It's not as nice. So we like Neptune direct. We like when we can wear the rose-colored glasses, see the rose-colored skies, enjoy ourselves under that. So I feel like that will be good going into Christmas season to have a little bit of that Neptune back. And yeah, so anyway, those are the main transits. If you want to know your sign, I would look at your sun, moon, and rising, because some signs are going to hit harder than others this month, and I'm going to tell you which ones will. So just find your timestamps below, and yeah, I'll see you there. Okay. Okay, hi Aries. So for you, the first thing I'm going to tell you is to speak free and clear this month. Speak free and clear. Speak your mind. Speak your truth when you are clear. So if you're feeling a little bit foggy, speak it into your pillow. Okay, just like that. Do that. See what it sounds like, and then when you got it, and it's simple and it's true, speak it loud and proud. We got a lot of good energy here for the Aries to speak. I want to know what you have to say. I think other people want to know what you have to say this month. If it's not clear and you don't truly believe it, don't speak it, okay? Some days that you should know about. November 5th, Mars in Libra, square Pluto in Capricorn. This is going to be very hard for the people around you. I think you're going to kind of understand this energy, and you're going to see people acting the way that you do at your lowest, say, vibrational point. So if you can have your own inner peace, I think you can be a very stable, grounding energy force. If you let yourself get picked up with the tide, you're going to find yourself in a lower vibrational place. So November 5th is that kind of big deal for you. Then on November 19th, Mars is going to enter Scorpio. So all of a sudden it's outside of Libra. That's really nice for everybody, especially for you. You've been ruled by your opposing sign for a month now, and so at this time you're going to feel a little bit better. Mars is good in Scorpio, so your ruling planet is going to be hanging out in a very investigative, mysterious sign, a close connectional sign. So I think that's a really good time for you to speak your truth to your closest loved ones and really enjoy being closely connected to somebody and investigating. There's a mystery in the world at all times, and so if you use this energy to figure out a mystery, you actually can advance your life, because then you have an answer to something that can't be solved. Does that make sense? Every time things aren't going so well in my life, I start focusing on a mystery. I have Scorpio South Node, so that's kind of what makes me kind of feel back alive again. But for you, I think it's a good time for you to do that. Then we have November 24th, Mars and Scorpio opposite Uranus in Taurus. This looks a little challenging for you. When I say a lot, I think there's going to be a lot of what's going to feel like negative energy against females in your life, okay? You might find that there is a female enemy that you have. You might also find out that you're kind of the enemy, that you really don't like someone. I say the female energy because the Scorpio Taurus is sort of it's a fight against two different type of women. And so if you are a woman, you probably are one type. You might be more of the Scorpio one. You might even be more of the Taurus one. But those kind of energies of like a female who's sort of a free-floating, free wheeling, I can't talk, freewheeling disaster of a woman, but free. And then you have the like the calm, collected female, who might even have a little bit of change, but right now she's kind of dealing with Uranus energy, which is causing her to start a little bit of chaos. So we got two things kind of having chaos right now, which is interesting energy, to say the least. I said enemy. Yes, it's also an interesting enemy to have, to say the least. So this could be something. I wouldn't mess with either of these things, these transits. They are like, if a female is in your life, like, walk away. Just do it. So then we have this Jupiter-Venus conjunction, same time Mars in Scorpio. So it definitely seems like whatever this energy is, it's for you to watch and to observe and not to take complete hold of it or ownership over it unless you have Taurus or Libra also in your chart. Anyway, that's what I would say for you, Aries. Hi, Taurus. It's Alyssa, obviously. Okay, so this month, I will give you the message that is find your people, find your kingdom, create your kingdom, join with people. I think I've been kind of showing you a lot recently that maybe you need to be more isolated and alone, but this month is definitely the month where you get to sort of take that back a little bit. Maybe join, find your tribe, find your kingdom, find the people that you want and bring them close to you. I think that you know who they are now, and so this is good energy still under the Scorpio sun, entering the Scorpio retrograde, Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, to be able to take control of, that isolation, the self-inflicted isolation because you didn't know who to trust, but now you do. So allow these people back in your life. Like maybe you can even have a sigh of relief that these days of feeling sad and alone could be over, that maybe you're allowed to have your people now, and you know who's good. So trust your instincts with this. November 1st, Venus is going to enter Sagittarius. That's your ruling sign, so it's going to be out of your opposite sign and sort of into a much more clear sign. Although fire and earth, they don't necessarily work together, they do have a lot of passion, and so I would tell you to, take advantage of this passionate time and do things that are sort of more fun. You're getting into a position to be able to do that. So it's your time. Maybe this is part of you finding your tribe, finding your friends, going to have fun with them. Then November 14th, Venus is going to be square Neptune in Pisces. So that Venus and Sag square Neptune in Pisces. It's kind of a big day for you. It's going to be kind of hard. It's a hard to swallow situation. There's some hard facts, hard truths that will come out specifically with you. But I do feel like it's a more empowering place for you to be in, even if it doesn't feel like that necessarily. Like maybe someone who was bad to you like a month ago, you get the chance to be bad to them, say, right? And revenge and that stuff is not what I'm talking about, but I'm more like saying that they might have taken something from you and now you get to take it back. And so with that sort of energy, it can be hard. You're like, don't even want to be in it sometimes. And, Taurus is more harmonious sign. You're not in the mood to have to fight, but Uranus is also in your sign. So that means that you are being sort of pulled out to challenge bad people. And it's interesting when Taurus is in that position because it's not one you find yourself in all the time. Then November 24th hits, and that is a huge time for Venus-ruled people. Jupiter, Venus are conjunct in the sky, where Mars is also opposite Uranus in Taurus. So here's that extra energy. Now the sun will already be in Sagittarius at this time. You're outside of this Scorpio realm, and you're being told to step into position. Okay, get into formation for sure in this area. To like. Maybe like what I'm telling you this for is like, what is worth fighting for? Like, what do you really want? Who do you really want to see, go from your life? Who do you want in your life? Like, what do you want to do? And what is standing in your way? Because that 24th energy is made for you, Taurus. It's made for you to showcase who you are. And I mean, sun, moon, rising, take advantage of it. It's not going to be easy. Good things are not easy. That's why, like, when I'm doing predictions and stuff, I never focus on the trines or sextiles. It's just a boring thing. Nothing happens. Who cares? Oh, the sun is trine Venus today. Really good day to chill out on the couch. You do that every night anyway. The real things happen when you are facing a challenge, and these challenges are facing you, Taurus, to get you to move to where you need to be. It's not time for you to rest. It's time for you to take control of your kingdom, finding your tribe. Also, I want to say something about this. Libra, because also ruled by Venus, is more about taking back their crown. So when I say Taurus is finding your kingdom, I'm not saying you need to rise up and be the king or queen. That's not necessarily the energy that's feeling. It's more like join a kingdom or bring that kingdom to you. Whatever it is, it's about the people in your life. And sometimes you can think of it as like the Knights of the Round Table. You're all equal. So even if you are the queen, even if you do have Libra in you or king, and you're trying to take back that crown that was stolen, this is also about you finding your equality, that everybody serves a purpose. I think about this as like Mad Max, Fury Road. It's such a great movie, but you see all of these people, men and women, coming together, and no one can do more than the other. Each one has their own set of skills, and each one utilizes them to the best of their ability. And that's what I see here for you, Taurus, is that you have to have that. There is a problem with this energy that if you say, I got to go back for my crown, you're not in a position to fight the egos right now. You're in a position to be safe. So I'm letting you know that, like, that's where that energy is going for you. The last thing that's going to happen in November is Venus is going to enter Capricorn, which is huge for you. Such a good time. Capricorn is trine Taurus. Venus is your ruling sign. It's so much stability, and it's about rising to power and having the strength to do it. So I just see like a really good time for you. Feel that relief at the end of the month if you can, if you are in tune with it. And that is all for you, Taurus. Okay, hi, Gemini. So the first thing I'm going to tell you, Gemini, is to kill them with kindness. Gemini doesn't handle Mercury retrograde very well, especially not when it's in Scorpio. It's not good for you. It takes a lot of your power away. You might feel like attacked. You might feel like impatient. The first 18 days of this month are just like, they're not for you, okay? Now, when the sun goes into Sagittarius and Mercury is direct, yeah, that's going to be a little bit better, like on the 22nd or something. But during that first time, like, it's not good. It's not like good energy that you enjoy. Killing them with kindness instead of causing problems, causing risks, causing issues that don't need to be there. If you can like heed this advice, you'll be able to like maneuver a lot better because you're keeping it down, you're keeping it to yourself. You're using this time to internalize everything and act on it later. And that's perfectly acceptable. Everyone needs that time. Gemini is such an outward Mercury sign, like Virgo is inward. You're outward. You just need that energy. But sometimes you're being called to face the feelings, the facts, the truth, and you can't necessarily use your head. You got to just go down into your spirit and your soul and see what's going on with you. That's your time. Be a doctor for yourself. Don't make other people walk on eggshells for you. Don't put them in positions to have to make you feel better. This is about you. It's not about everybody else. It's just about you. So then the other thing that will happen, November 11th, the sun is going to conjunct Mercury in Scorpio. This will illuminate you. Another reason why killing them with kindness is very important. Now, also, when the sun conjuncts a planet exactly, we call that cazimi, it means that the sun sort of eats it up. The light is so bright, the planet that's with it can't really withstand the energy. That means if you do something bad, that sun eats you up. If you do something good, the sun eats you up. Where are you going? When it eats you up, when you're on fire, are you going to hell or are you going to the stars? You know, there's two different types of fire here. So what's going to happen with you? This means like you don't need to keep bad secrets. You don't need to keep enemies. You don't need to drive these things home to prove yourself as important, especially not when you're in a season that doesn't necessarily respect your way of thinking as much. Gemini does a lot better in the spring and the summer because of that, that energy. But when it gets into the darker times, it gets darker for the Gemini as well. It's not a bad time, but it's a searching time, and Gemini doesn't like that as much as other signs do. Some other signs thrive in this energy, and they don't do as well in the light energy, but you are not that sign. So unless you have other planets too, but that's what's going on. If it's hard, it's okay. You're allowed to keep moving forward. You're allowed to keep doing what you need to do, but focus your attention inwards. And then we also have November 27th, Neptune is going to go direct in Pisces. And I mean, Mercury and Pisces are not opposite each other, but they are very different from each other. Neptune is illusion, rose-colored glasses, and then you have Mercury, which is, hard facts and hard truths. When Neptune is retrograde, it's actually kind of nicer for the Gemini than anybody else. And it went retrograde June 21st, which was right after, like, on the cusp of Gemini and Cancer this year. So you probably had I'm not saying you had a good run or that it was great. And I think I've talked about this in the October prediction. But this Neptune stabilized your energy, okay? And now it's going to go direct, become very illusory. Illusory, that kind of sounds like illusory, which kind of makes you feel that way. It can make you feel a little cloudy. Okay, so the end of the month, you might feel a little bit cloudy. That's okay. The best thing that you can still do, kill everything with kindness. Use that energy to be kind. I used the energy before to be kind. Keep yourself kind, and kindness defeats anger. Okay, it just does. If you feel anger and you want to transmute that energy, the only energy that can transmute it correctly is kindness. And as kind to yourself, kind to others. You don't have to be a doormat. Like, God, don't ever be a doormat. Just understand that maybe some things aren't quite what they seem. And you might be on the wrong side of things. You don't know until you pay attention. And so it's a good time for you to observe, report, pay attention, and clear that anger with kindness. Anyway, that is you, Gemini, and I will talk to you later. Bye. Okay, hi, Cancer. So the first thing I'm going to tell you, Cancer, is keep up the chaos. Destruction breeds creation, and your moon ruler planet is going on a rampage. So do it. Follow your heart and your dreams. Create some destruction. So, the moon itself goes through every sign. So there's certain times of a month that are better for Cancers than others because you are ruled by the moon signs. And so if I were you, I would know where the moon is. Like, if you're going to follow any prediction, just look at the moon where it is and figure out and start journaling about this, okay? This helps. It's like you can go in your notes and put down all the signs and then write how you feel, like maybe in a grid, every time the moon goes into a sign, and see if there's repetition here. Like, every time the moon is in Pisces, I personally feel really good. Not everybody's like that. So you figure out where you feel good, where you feel bad, where you feel disturbed, and see if there's repeating patterns here. That's something that you could be your own predictive energy with this sort of easy thing because you are ruled by this moon. So the things we're going to talk about today are more so of the new moon and the full moon that take place in the month. This full moon is going to be in Taurus opposite Scorpio. This is in good energy with you. The full moon is very clear. I feel like this will allow you to be very clear of your spirit. If you have to release something toxic, you might be purging a little bit, crying a little bit. Not that you never cry or that you always cry, whatever, Cancer stereotypes. But it's really good time to cleanse yourself and to take it easy, to use that Taurus energy of, bath time and bath bombs and masks and getting your nails done right, and use that Scorpio energy to be close to the ones that you love. The Sagittarius new moon, that's a dark moon. It's in Sagittarius, in a sign that does not vibe. Fire and water do not vibe at all. Fire and earth are okay sometimes, even though they're not compatible. And water and air can be okay too, even though they're not super compatible. But they lead to something. Now, water and fire, they don't mix, okay? They are opposing. Even in the chalice and the blade, right? You know, this is water and this is fire. Now, if you put this on it, we got earth and then we got air. So that's the thing with water and fire. But when you're in the mix of that and you're ruled by this moon that is going in to this fire sign in the dark energy, the Sagittarius new moon can seem like not good for you. Like you can't survive it sometimes. Know that you're going to be okay. That it's just a little bit of time. It's not forever. And it is trying to show you something. But I don't think you need to figure out what it's trying to show you. I think you just need to enjoy yourself still and do what you want to do. Last month I said, you know, act like an Aries. Same shit here. This energy, it's finding a little bit of your own inner fire that can last on the water. You know how that happens when you dump oil on the water and light it? Fire can breathe off the water. That's what you're looking for. I think that's the energy you're trying to get to, because you still need to be able to find your passion, find your energy, even in a situation that might want to take it from you. So whatever your oil is, whatever your gasoline is that you need to pour on yourself to keep your light up, which this can be like hanging out with friends, it can be spending time alone, it can be creating, drawing, painting, writing, all of these things, you know, whatever kind of sticks out to you. That's what you need to keep up during the Sagittarius season, and that's what you should be doing during the new moon. Anyway, that is for you, Cancer. Talk to you later. Leo. This is what I'm going to tell you. Keep up the faith. Scorpio season is square, you know, your sun, but Sagittarius season isn't going to be totally better because you are a Leo. You are ruled by the sun, and so when the sun goes into a new sign, it is a new world for you every time. Your ruling planet is exploring new territory. So while your sun is in Scorpio, you're exploring the square to you. You're exploring something that actually does align with you because it's fixed, stubborn energy, but it doesn't align with you because it's a challenge. And the challenge of Scorpio is the challenge of finding another to mix with. The challenge of Leo is finding your own heart. So when you find your own heart, you can like sleep around. You can try to figure out what you want to do, like where you want to go. You can go have fun. It's Leo season's really fun for Leos because of that exact thing. Why Leos love their birthday more than any other sign. Even if they don't, they still do. They still want it. They want to use that energy. So when it goes into Scorpio, it's like, now I got to find my other person. I don't get to just sleep around. There are real big problems when I do that. I don't get to just, you know, blindly pick people I want to hang out with. I need to find people who, you know, connect with me on a real life scale. And there's been some confusion for Leo about who it's supposed to connect with. It doesn't know. And you might think you know because Leo wants to know, but it doesn't mean you do. There's been some blindness happening here with the Leo. Leo's trying to choose, you know, who picks up the crown, and they're choosing wrong. And it's like, why? Just like all the energies that have been going around, that's a big thing for Leo. It's like, what did I do? Maybe you did get like recently married and you're trying to make everything good and your partner's not, or you're the one who's like, oh, maybe I went out. I don't know what it is exactly. This is general, but for the Leo, there's some blindness and some cold hard truths that are not aligning here. Keeping up the faith and keeping on your track and not making any sort of rash decisions that might ruin your reputation during this time, because during Sagittarius season, it's all going to come to light, and something that you might have done might not be working for you so well anymore. So I'm going to say like November 11th, Sun is going to conjunct Mercury in Scorpio, and Mercury is retrograde. So this can be a part where you might feel like you have to backtrack something. Something that you said, something that you've done. You might kind of hit a moment of like, oop, shit, and have to move from there. Whatever that is, just try to take it in stride. You don't have to react immediately because it might look aggressive during this time. This energy is a little aggressive. So even if you feel like you're being called out for something, breathe, wait a couple days, then react to it. You need a trigger warning, I think, during this time. So then we have November 12th, right after that, the full moon is in Taurus, and that's that clarity. So it's like that clarity could be directed on you. The sun is shining on the moon, so the moon is taking up all of the energy from the sun. It's in Taurus. That puts a lot of stable energy onto, the feminine. It's always what the full moon does, which is why there is clarity, because feminine is life nature. Okay, so the full moon is about now life gets it. That's why the new beginning is a new moon, because it's like the spirit understands and implants it into the physical life, and the life decides to grow it, or at least they are now aware that it exists. It could clarify some things against you, it could clarify some things for you, but just keep up your faith in yourself and faith in God, and the faith that you have to keep moving forward no matter what, and to do it one moment at a time. Then November 18th, Mercury is going to go direct in Scorpio, and this matters because the sun's still in Scorpio, so you're going to feel a little bit freer. If you wanted to react to something, you're waiting for a date after the 18th is good to like really be able to articulate what you want to say without talking in circles or like word salad and just spitting out a bunch of stuff that you might regret later. Some signs just have to deal with this sort of energy right now about regretting things. Then November 22nd, the sun enters Sagittarius. This is good. This is a lot better for you. It's definitely a time where you can clear your own air and you can start enjoying yourself a little bit more, and maybe even feel like you can put the spotlight on yourself again. Now, if you've been growing a lot and things have been seeming good, I think this is what I kind of want to say. I've been channeling so much for Leo. It's really hard to, pinpoint exactly what it is. If things have been going good for you, Sagittarius season might be bad for you. If things have been kind of going hard, it's going to be good for you. And that's because I'm talking a lot about this illusion that surrounded this whole year of 2019. And because you were ruled by the sun and what it's going through, you're experiencing the illusion. And if you are self-aware, you can kind of see where problems are arising. And if you're in tune with your body, you can see them before your brain can. But if you're not, if you sort of are like, not taking care of yourself in a healthy way, you're just expecting that everything's going to go right, and it has been, November is kind of going to be a little bit of a bad time for you. Sagittarius season is going to be a little bit of a letdown, because the universe wants you to know what is real. And so if you've been living on this wave of incorrect ideas, it's going to take them away from you so that your mind can expand during the Sagittarius season. So just be aware of that. And you can stop this now if you haven't been listening to your body. Start taking care of your body. You're going to not, this isn't too late for you. You can still make the decisions not to go forward in places that you thought were going to be great. You can still start taking care of your body and listening to your instincts. So, do what you have to do there. Take my advice or not. The new moon in Sagittarius, which is dark for you. Jupiter and Venus also being in Sagittarius it wants to be like really good energy. But I think this is sort of where you realize completely if you've made a mistake. And so just be open up to that. Now, if you didn't, this is going to be a very rewarding experience for Leo. Very rewarding. But I feel with all this stuff that I've been sort of channeling about this area, that's very few and far between. Very few Leos are going to be experiencing that, because it's so easy for a Leo to get hyped in the energy it's been very trickstery to you. And I'm actually very sorry about that, because that sucks, because you're almost being played by the universe, and I don't know why, really. And maybe that's a mystery during Scorpio season. You want to uncover, what are you trying to be shown? Why are you being tested like this? Sometimes we are tested in manipulative fashion by the universe. So figure out what that is, and I think that will really help you and help you open up to new, beautiful things for your life. Anyway, that is Leo. Virgo, this is for you. For the first thing that I'm going to tell you is that they are coming back to you whether you want them to or not. Okay? So whatever that means to you, this energy is a lot of coming back. Now, Mercury retrograde is pretty good for Virgo, because you kind of already act out this energy anyway. You're like the backward side of Mercury. So when you're dealing with it, utilize it in a, one day at a time, one moment at a time. If something doesn't go wrong, You don't have to pull your hair out. You can just, move forward in a new direction. Take this time to, find a new genius inside of you that and be proud of yourself for how you maneuver weird energies, okay? Scorpio, it's good energy with Virgo. It's not good with your sister sign, Gemini. Should I say brother sign? Uh, Gemini it's harder for them to deal with the Scorpio Mercury energy, but for you, it's a sextile to your energy, and so water, earth, it's about you kind of maneuvering yourself from the earth and into your feelings a little bit more. So get into your feelings in the beginning of November. Once you get into your feelings, you'll be able to tell, do you want like the energy of an ex coming back or the energy of a thing? It might not be an ex, it could be a person, it could be a place, it could be a thing. Whatever it is, that energy is going to be coming back to you. And do you want it? Trust your gut on the situation. A lot of times, like for a lot of signs, exes come back during Mercury retrograde. I don't think there's a problem like hanging out with an ex during Mercury retrograde, but you just can't like let your heart flutter. Okay, sometimes you just need it for the enjoyment, and knowing that it's going to run away again is not a big deal. Like, I don't know why people think it's such a big deal, but the Scorpio energy kind of makes it seem like it's going to be a bigger deal than it is. So just remember that whatever this is coming back to you, it might not last, and so don't worry totally. The other thing is November 11th, the sun is going to conjunct Mercury in Scorpio, which is going to be exposure in some way. This can be you, it can be somebody very close to you. I feel like for you, this is somebody very close to you is getting exposed. Maybe not you correctly. Maybe you're being the one who exposes. There's a lot of weird Virgo feelings I'm getting. I don't know. I feel like there's a little bit of a manipulative factor that you are doing. Like maybe you're going behind the scenes to give someone information so that they can do your dirty work for you. But it does seem like you're mad at somebody or something and you don't want them to be around anymore. I mean, you can kind of decipher that yourself, and maybe I'm giving you ideas on what to do on the 11th, but it's definitely a time of exposure. So there could be a thing too, like maybe if you went behind the scenes to expose someone, maybe you're being exposed for that, or they're going to find out. Like whatever that energy is, be good. Sometimes it's not wrong to go and have someone else do your dirty work for you if you're doing the right thing. But how do you know you're doing the right thing? That's always one of those things they say, like with witches, you can hex somebody if they truly deserve it. But who are you to judge? Are you that good at judging someone? Because if you're not, then that hex comes back onto you. So that's a thing. So I would definitely get in touch with yourself a lot if there's anything that you want to do that might be sort of shady because of that exposure that will happen on the 11th while Mercury is still retrograde. Then we're going to go to November 27th after, the sun's in Sagittarius. There's a square, there's like a challenge here, but then Neptune goes direct in Pisces, which is opposite you. So there's sort of a jerking experience for you during the Sagittarius season at the end of the month. I don't feel like it's bad. Nothing about that makes you feel bad. It just makes you feel like maybe you're going to be jerked into a new situation, something new. So I think be prepared for that feeling of something new, something that opens up, new horizons and allows you to start dreaming again. If you haven't been able to be in touch with that part of you, this is the perfect time to get back in touch with your roots and like who you are and, what you dream of being and having, your goals and your dreams met and feeling like they can finally happen. Something that I really do see for Virgo. So anyway, that is your November transits. Okay, so hi, Libra. We just got out of your season last month, and I don't think it was a very good season for most Libras. Not like you probably wanted it to be, but it's because it wasn't really a Libra season. It was more of a Scorpio season. And so now we're in Scorpio. It's still a Scorpio season, and you're trying to sort of figure out how to utilize Scorpio in your own life. And that can kind of be a little bit more difficult, but I think it's a lot about finding your own stability in an unstable place. And I think that's where Libra has been forced by the universe to go. Like, how are you going to be stable in chaos? You need to know that. What I will tell you for this month is they can't take what rightfully belongs to you. And what that means is they can't take your crown. Maybe somebody tried. Maybe somebody trying to went after you. Or maybe you didn't know that they did and they still did. That's when a lot of that Libra energy is in seeing It's caused, basically the rug was pulled out from under you and you've been trying to stand, okay? November is about understanding that you are allowed to take back what belongs to you. You are going to be giving the universal energy to do that. The first way that this is going to happen is on November 1st, today, is that Venus is going to enter Sagittarius. It's outside of Scorpio now. So even though Mercury's going retrograde in Scorpio at the same time, your ruling planet is sort of getting out of the situation. That's your first, like, that's good for you, okay? Like a little bit of a sneak attack. Like, here, everything's going to hit these everybody else, Mercury is going to retrograde, and you're like, why am I leaving out the back door? Why am I not experiencing this energy as much? Well, if you watch me talk about Mercury retrograde, you can act it like Venus. Venus is also your ruling sign. It's in Scorpio, something that you've been stabilizing yourself on, so you are not as hurt by it. And so don't freak yourself out by that. It's giving you a doorway to get back what's yours. There was a wrongdoing. Now you can take it back. Now, the next part that happens is November 14th. Venus will be in Sagittarius, squaring Neptune in Pisces. Pisces and Neptune is a higher octave of Venus, and so there's that square there. Seems like a challenge, but it's also something to think about as far as being protected. The challenge is there between you and, well, Neptune is retrograde still, so it's acting a little bit like Saturn, a little bit of karma. Karma's squaring you. Now, if you did something bad, it will get you, okay? But all this energy I've seen is that something was wrong to you. So if something happened that was bad to you, karma is not going to get you. You're going to utilize it to get what you want. Okay, so there is that sense, like can't channel for the entire Libra collective here. You might have other things going on in your chart that say this is not true. Only maybe kind of true. But as far as your Libra energy is concerned, that's a huge deal that I've seen. Especially with all that instability, you can now do it. You can walk on water, basically. And Pisces, Neptune, that's your water, and you're given an opportunity to walk on it. What does that mean for you? That means you're going straight back for your crown, and it's not going to be as difficult as you might have thought it was going to be. And that's cool. So something that I would say is also be grateful. Be grateful and utilize the energy. Don't be so sad. Don't dwell in the past. You got to let it go. You got to move forward. If you're getting the energy to move forward, utilize it to go forward, to take what's yours, and to be happy and relieved. Everything happens for a reason. There's always divine timing. We don't always see it. November 24th, Venus is conjunct Jupiter in Sagittarius, as well as Mars in Scorpio, opposite Uranus and Taurus, all happening at the same time. Venus conjunct Jupiter in Sagittarius, really beneficial for you. Uranus in Taurus, opposite Mars in Scorpio, a little bit hard. So that means that nothing great is gained without a challenge. So at this last moment, I would say that here you go. You got that direct line to get what you needed. Now you're going to go and take it, and it's a little bit hard. But with everything that's worth taking, a challenge is needed. There's always needs to be some distraction for some more creation. So sometimes you get the challenge, and that challenge could come on the 24th. It could come a couple days before or after. There could be residual effects of it, but I would definitely be telling you you're in line to take it, so do it. Obviously, you can handle the challenge. You've been primed to handle the challenge, whatever that may be that's hitting you. Then we're going to go to November 26th, and Venus is going to enter Capricorn. This is going to go square you, so that means that challenge that you faced is going to last a little bit longer, because Capricorn, Libra, square, challenge aspect. Don't be afraid of challenges. I'm just going to give you that advice. When you go into December, you got the challenges again. Be afraid, because once you get back what was rightfully yours, you have to fight to hold it again, because this time you're not going to let it go away. So remember that. Don't let it leave once you get it. And that will be the ending of your month. And utilizing that will help. I'm not saying that everything's been easy. Look at your sun, moon, and rising. If you're a triple Libra, say that it's going to be pretty good for you. Not everybody's triple Libra. So find out what else is going on and what else maybe you can utilize. Some challenges you can use to get where you need to be. It's Apollo. Scorpio. So Scorpio, my big message to you this month is they can't sit with you. And they might not want to, but it's okay, because you might feel like, oh, it would be nice to be asked to be in a position where I could go hang out with somebody, or I could bring some people to my table. But even if they wanted to come, they can't, okay? You need to remind yourself of that. There is no I in team, but there is a me, and it's you, okay? Spelling is fun. And the reason why is a lot of need for isolation in this beginning of the Scorpio season, and there's still so much Scorpio energy going on, and this energy is all for you, and you don't need to share it with other people. It's not that time. Mercury goes retrograde in Scorpio on now, so it is until the 18th. This is in your sign. It's kind of pulling you inward. Be there. Be still in there. And clear out any of the last garbage that might remain from your youth, from your past. So you can let go of it. So you can be a new man or woman, so that you can experience what it truly means to be the highest vibration of Scorpio that you can possibly be, which is the Phoenix. Wise, slow to anger, cool, calm, collected, giving and nurturing, but also taking and pleasuring. Like, those kind of things are just the best for the Scorpio, to be able to have an abundance. You're getting primed for that. I think there's so much sadness and pain that have plagued Scorpio for so long. But you can enter a new world with this energy. And so this is kind of creating that for you. And so it's just not time to gather people around you yet. It will be, but you got to find yourself first throughout the energy. Venus is going to leave Scorpio the same day, Mercury goes retrograde in Scorpio. So that's going to be a blessing that's left you. When the blessing leaves you, then you sort of feel more on your own, because Venus is it blesses the sign that it's in. So it's in your sign, and so that was nice, but now it's not. So you're like, okay, you might feel a little bit of I didn't want that to be. I thought it was going to be a little bit better. Maybe a little bit of anxiety, maybe like a quick anger, and then realizing, okay, now I can go back into myself. And that is something that you need to remember throughout this entire month. Now, Mars in Libra is going to square Pluto in Capricorn. Pluto is your ruling sign, and that is on the 5th. So that causes more energy, destructive anger too. Pay attention to that. You don't need to utilize all your anger. You just don't. And be the Pluto, don't be the Mars, okay? That means that maybe the Mars feels like it's directed at you. Maybe it's even a Libra in your life at this point. And you just need to find your stability in Capricorn to keep utilizing that challenge from that Mars to stay on your grind and to build. Build internally, emotionally, and sometimes a little bit externally, but you don't need to share it with everybody. This isn't that time. I think for this month, maybe your birthday season started out okay, and it might feel like it starts to just unravel. Hold on to hope. Keep on going. You know who you are. Keep learning more. There's more to learn about you. You know yourself better than anybody, and you still don't know yourself. This is what this energy is showing me. So figure this out. 11th of November, the Sun conjuncts Mercury in Scorpio. This is going to be more of that retrograde feeling for you, but you might feel like life speeds up a little bit with that Sun there, but it's going to go back down. So, enjoy. If it's a nice day, enjoy it. If it's not, don't try to make it something it's not. It's the same with all of the season. I don't want to be like beating a dead horse on you here, but that's what I'm getting. Then, let's see, November 18th, Mercury goes direct in Scorpio. A good time for your brain. So I really was reading that. I was like, wait, what's going to happen this in Scorpio season? This Mercury in Scorpio. It's jarring, okay? Mercury in Scorpio is just very jarring, especially for you. But if you live your life with love and not out of your mind, live your life internally and not externally, you will utilize this transit to the best of its ability. Don't worry. Be happy. They can't sit with you. So it doesn't matter. Anyway, you're training yourself. You're taking something for yourself here. So then November 19th, right after Mercury goes direct in Scorpio, Mars enters Scorpio, and this ignites a sort of passion and energy, not just anger. So allow yourself not to use it for anger. Utilize it for energy, physical energy. And maybe this means you start working out or something, or you start engaging in more activities. Whatever that is, you can utilize that energy well. Now, sometimes it can, when Mars goes into your sign, it can sort of like spark some fire and then you're just immediately tired, because Mars energy is not like stamina, okay? It's not meant to be stamina. It's just meant to, you start utilizing it in spurts. To create that activity, you have to just make sure you sleep. So just remember that. And then the sun enters Sagittarius, so it leaves Scorpio November 22nd. I think this is going to be relieving for you until 2 days later. Mars in Scorpio is opposite Uranus in Taurus, and so you might find yourself in an argument or in a challenge, or you might sort of hit a midlife crisis even if you're not in your midlife, because this can sort of show you, hey, you know what? All this energy, the Scorpio energy has been doing for you internally, it's been telling you that you're on the complete wrong path. And what if you're on the complete wrong path? Then it wants you to move to the correct path. And this, I think, is kind of taking you there. And maybe that's where I feel like the relief comes from. Like, you're finally going to know, or at least you're going to be on the right track to the truth of who you are and what you're meant to do and where your dreams are coming. So me, like, I think that's all good news. It just sometimes doesn't feel like that in the moment. Anyway, so that is your Scorpio November. Hi, Sagittarius. So for this month, I'm just going to tell you that love is brighter than sunshine. Sure, the sun is bright, but it doesn't necessarily illuminate the darkness as much as it kills it. Love doesn't kill darkness. Love illuminates it, shows you what's there. And that's where the balance comes from. And that's why love is balance. Why love balances out the light and the dark. Sagittarius, being Jupiter, can sometimes want to find this connection to positivity, which does feel like light, and that anything in the dark is not good. But November is sort of a dark month for you in the beginning. Venus is going to enter your sign. Venus is love. Venus is forcing that balance. It's not always good when Venus comes into your sign, or at least it doesn't feel that way, because Venus sort of brings with it a darker energy. Venus is a reflective planet. It doesn't shine its own light. It shines because of the stars. And so it's going into your sign and right away. But also Mercury's retrograde. And Mercury's your opposite, so that should be really good. This should all be really, really good for you, a huge blessing. Except I'm getting the feeling that it's a little bit scarier because it's almost so opposed to what you've been doing. Okay, you're fire and you are related to that positivity and that light work. But your mind has to be blown in one way or another always, because even if you're Sagittarius, you weren't born with all the answers. There's always that moment of like new discovery. And so this new discovery is about going inward and darker and exploring that part of yourself, which can be scary, and even like revealing certain aspects of your life that you've kept private that don't paint you well, and having to digest that and having to work through that. So that's what I want to say. Like, if you're in the clear and you've lived your recent life, you are upfront and you're honest and you're good. And even though I know, like in October, my last prediction, I said, be nice. Like, I just kept giving you that warning, like, be nice. And this is because November is a big month for exposing of Sagittarius darkness. Okay? And darkness means like what you do in the dark. See, dark's not necessarily bad. It just is a place where evil likes to run. Because you keep it dark, you keep it hidden. But what if that is illuminated with love? Then you are. So, yes, Venus going through Sagittarius, blessing, yay. Also during Scorpio season, also when Mercury's retrograde, no, there's something going on here. It's not so great. It will be. It will be great. It's going to make you a full person, a whole person, not someone, swimming on the shallow, keeping everything hidden below in the water. This is going to be something very important for you, a very important milestone of a month for you, to get your truth into the world and to be loved and accepted for exactly who you are. But sometimes there's pain involved in that. Growth always is involved in pain. That's why when we're kids, we get growing pains. we get to be adults and we don't like the pain anymore. But the pain is needed to grow, and your brain definitely needs to grow. Jupiter's in your sign. It's about to leave. Jupiter is expansion. Is your sign. You have to expand. You have to grow. As much as like that positivity wants you to stay positive, sometimes positivity is just getting larger, and you can't just get larger if you're stuffing the greatest parts of you down and having them show up in negative, evil ways. It's just one of those things. So don't be scared, okay? I mean, if you have a lot of fear, then that's another thing that Venus will help you with, okay? Love conquers fear. It does. If you really have love, if you truly have love for yourself, for others, it will conquer your fear. So you don't need to worry. Worry just breeds fear, or it's bred by fear. And those are important things for you this month. When on November 14th, Venus in Sagittarius is going to square Neptune in Pisces, and this is kind of a big deal. Well, Neptune in Pisces is retrograde. It's kind of acts more like Saturn. This is sort of a karmic situation here, which could be that this might be when something, if you have any leftover bad karma that needs to be illuminated or exposed or just done away with, it will come to the surface in some way. It's going to float up from the water. And if you've been holding anything under that water, you can't hold it all down. Something's going to pop up. We don't know what it is. You may not know what it is. You might know what it is. Whatever that is, instead of doing damage control, think about ways that you can bring your life to the surface before. You can utilize the energy out of love for yourself, love for people around you to let them know. They may not feel like they have to know, and that's better. It's just better if things come from you than they come from somebody else. Because then you're in control of it and you're taking it as your power, and then you can merge it into your own life. And I think those are really important. We don't realize that these things we hate about ourselves are actually things that make us authentic and true to who we are. And before Sagittarius leaves your sign, and next month, you got to get that, got to grow. You got to get part of yourself back. Then we have November 22nd, the sun enters your sign. So this is nice, you know, it's keeping up with that illumination, but sometimes too much fire, too much light. But if you're utilizing this correctly, the light, what does it do? The sun burns up the darkness. That means that you can actually find yourself so much freer of the chains once the sun enters your sign. And it doesn't feel like exposure, it just feels like you threw it all in the fire and you're free, you're clear. And then when on November 24th, November 24th, Venus is conjunct Jupiter in Sagittarius. Huge moment for you. Huge, beautiful moment for you to come in to, you know, who you were, who you are, and what you're meant to do with your life. And I'm really excited for this, for any Sagittarius who is got truth, beauty, freedom, and love all around you. This is a great, great moment. You've been waiting for this for a really long time, and it's time to like take what is yours and to be the, you know, the highest vibration of your sign, to be full, not void, but full, and everything, and who you need to be. Because, you know, when I think about Sag, you think truth, beauty, freedom, love, like those are, they come from your sign, and this is you. You get it. But if you haven't been experiencing any of these things, and if you still have shit underneath the surface, it's going to be a time where it's exposed. Another time. I mean, so like this is either a month of exposure or a month of love for you. And that, I mean, that's up to you. It's up to your decisions. We all make choices. We all have our choices handed to us every day. That's what life is. It's a series of choices. And so if you've made good choices that benefit yourself and others, good. That's all you need to do in life. But if you haven't, then you might be a little bit scared. So replace that with love for yourself and do what you need to do with that. Lastly, Venus is going to leave Sagittarius November 26th on the new moon in Sagittarius. So there is a dark energy, which I think you're going to really like. I know that sounds also weird because Venus will leave your sign. So all of that stuff that Venus is doing there is going to be gone. And the new moon is the new beginning for you. And so you can lay low. Think about how you're going to collect yourself after everything's happened and move forward again. And with that, you can be happy. I feel like that's a positive thing. Sometimes darkness, that black sky, is the most positive, most rewarding thing that you can have. And so for that, I say, you know, if it's hurting and everything, hold out for that new moon. It's going to be a lot easier on you. Anyway, that is all I have for you, Sagittarius. Hi, Capricorn. This is going to be your little thing. Okay, this is little. This is little. You have a little transit here, okay? You're ruled by Saturn. There are things that are happening in Saturn and Capricorn. They've been happening for a long time. So that means that this month isn't a jarring month for you, even with Mercury retrograde. You need to look at your other, if you know your sun, moon, and rising, look at your other ones to see if there's something that is going to particularly affect you in a different place, because my message to you is keep up the rise. Keep on building. You're going one thing at a time. Last month was more difficult for you. Last month had a lot of issues with Saturn. There's a lot of things happening. Libra itself is square Capricorn. We're in Scorpio season. We go into Sagittarius. So just keep utilizing whatever energy you can to move yourself forward. The one thing that is going to happen on November 5th is Mars in Libra square this Pluto in Capricorn. So Pluto in your sign, Mars is going to be square. So you can utilize this energy in two ways. One is it's a challenge that lights the fire into your ass to get you to move forward. The other one is that this creates a lot of anger and tension and people negatively against you, which makes you angry. If you can utilize that Pluto and the fact that Saturn's also in your sign during this month, and you just keep working, don't focus on other people's issues against you. They don't matter to you anymore. You are free to be you. So utilize you and everything in your arsenal to move forward. Who cares about these other people? Who cares about what they think about you? It's not about them anymore. It's about you. And I feel like that's very important for you to know and for how you take care of yourself. Now, obviously, you know, watch the other signs, because this is pretty much what I have particularly for Capricorn right now. It's the message that I'm just channeling to based on all of that, because I thought about, you know, kind of going into other things for you, but I think you need to know that your Capricorn just needs to stay in its lane and keep moving forward. Just keep moving. Be Dory. Just keep going, right? I don't know how it goes. Okay. Anyway, Capricorn, that's it for you. Okay, hi Aquarius. My biggest thing for you this month is to tell you to chill the F out, okay? Uranus is kind of a badass in November. It's going to be kind of pulling you into wanting to move and travel and do all these things, and I don't think it's the best energy for you to do that right now, though it might feel like it. So what it is like during this Mercury retrograde and like Venus is ruling your Uranus right now. His Uranus rules you. Uranus is currently in Taurus. Venus rules that. It's in Sag. That kind of is an extra little step in understanding what happens to you right now. Venus is a big indicator of all things Aquarius, and Venus enters Sagittarius right away. So that's a lot of like moving, but you got to look at it more as an mind expansion for the fact that you're in Aquarius. And it's not always about running. Sometimes it's about chilling the F out and really getting to know who you are in your own mind, especially with the Mercury going inward. It's all about you truly learning about what's in your mind so that you can be that genius inventor that you truly are. Utilize that. Uranus energy in Sagittarius season, and even in like the Scorpio itself is a square Aquarius. It's a challenge, and so that's also going to be a problem with like you moving forward, like traveling. It can cause tension and problems during that time. So if you chill out within yourself and you use that time to astral travel, to move your brain, you will start to get these genius ideas that you can put into action later, because every Aquarius needs your invention. Otherwise, you're not satisfied. So focus on it. Get it out of you. And on the biggest transit for Aquarius is not until November 24th. Sun will be in Sagittarius, but Mars in Scorpio is going to be opposite Uranus and Taurus. So this is like a direct affront to your Uranus this month. And it's Mars. And it's opposite. So it's pulling you sort of out of yourself. Now, around the 24th, then, this energy, there's also a new moon. This is all about you maybe getting some of what you've been creating and what you've been inventing in your own mind and, during your own time to yourself, you probably can get it out of you. It can be pulled out of you. Someone might pull it out of you in particular, maybe a loved one, maybe just somebody. Maybe you're just deciding to do it. There's all these different indicators or factors of your chart that could happen here, but that is a big energy for you because Mars is aggressive, it's passionate, it's a leader. So maybe it's kind of telling you, it's not your time to rise up and lead yet, but whoever is an authority over you in a way might be pulling something out of you. And that might be a good time for you to realize, like, okay, this is time for critiquing of what I've done to perfect it in fire. And, gold refined in fire is beautiful. And that is what you want. You don't want to half-ass something. You want to give the world it perfectly. So that's a lot of what it is. So don't worry if, your genius is not even seen as genius. Sometimes it just needs to be simplified first. And then it's such a perfect thing that people wonder how they lived without it. And that's what true invention is. And that's what progress is. And so it's the age of Aquarius. Let's get you Aquarians information. That's what I got for you. Make sure you check out your other signs to see if there's more days for you. Hi, Pisces. This is your November transit. So Neptune is your ruler, and it is a slow moving planet, and it's been retrograde since June 21st, which has affected you. It's sort of made you have to deal with problems in a way that you don't want to. It's also caused some unresolved karma or unresolved trauma, or even some issues with people that should just be in love with you or love you and they don't anymore, and you're just trying to grasp at like what's going on with that. And so I see, like, Pisces, like last month, I really felt like you guys were tired and that was really a good time to just sleep and not to move forward with anything. This month, I don't feel that as much. Like Pisces and Scorpio season, it's a nice season. Mercury retrograde. If anyone can handle Mercury retrograde, it's a Pisces, because you live your whole life like that. And especially if your Mercury is also in Pisces, it can throw you off because other people start to throw you off. And that's the thing. Just worry about yourself. If someone else is throwing you off, don't react right away, move through it slowly. You might feel a little bit blinded, but I think you're going to be like open to your intuition a lot this month. Huge month for your intuition. And then at the end of it all, November 27th, Neptune finally goes direct. So your planet is now direct. So that means anything that you've kind of internalized, you had a problem with, any issues that arise, they're all going to move forward now. This can be bad or it can be good, depending. If you've been waiting for an answer from someone, that answer isn't always yes, right? But you're going to get that answer. It could be no. It could be never again. It could be yes. It could be an ecstatic yes. It could be yes with caveats or something. But it's not going to be maybe anymore. And I think you've been holding on to a lot of maybe this will work, whatever, and you don't really know the answer to something, but that's what's going to happen at the end of the month. So December is going to be a much bigger month for Pisces, way bigger, but November itself, I would definitely look and utilize your other sun, moon, or rising that's not in Pisces to see what's happening, because this is definitely a go with the flow, stick to your own energy, and hold down your reactions to bad karmic forces, because when Mercury's retrograde, keep it internal, keep it about love, keep it about even be deep, keep it about your deepness. Your deepness, that sounds like I'm basic bitch trying to talk about being deep. I've never been deep in my life, guys, so do your deep thing. Go down deep, right? And sometimes that means isolation from others. Sometimes it means, taking others down with you, like a siren. It depends on, who you're with or what you're doing. But I do think it's about self-evaluation more so than external evaluation. Once you have all of that done, you can start moving forward in the correct way at the end of the month. Anyway, that is your forecast for all the signs. Thank you so much, guys. If you watched all of these, you're ridiculous, but cool. I like you. Anyway, I will talk to you later, guys. Bye.